We should be live.
Yes, it is.
Okay, welcome family. Welcome to the Empower Hour. This is Alpha Mark,
And I'm Hanifa.
and we right back at you each and every Monday, like clockwork, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We come to you live, Hanif and I, to talk about different topics of discussion that impact our everyday lives. Tonight is no different. Tonight is going to be a little different than normal. I
Yeah.
don't think we've ever done this before, huh, Hanifa?
We did it once, actually, but it was more so, I feel like it was a little bit more structured. We had some topics,
Okay.
but not like this, where it's just like really open. No.
Yes. We're
Mm-mm.
wide open this evening, family. Wide
Yeah.
open. The door is swinging open for anybody who wants to step in. You got to wipe your feet, though. Wipe your feet at the door before you come in and get
I
comfortable.
like that.
But we want to know what's going on. How you feel? What's going on in your mind? What do you want to talk about? If you even want to join us right here on the Zoom screen, we'll pop you right on in. Let's have a discussion about what you want to discuss. So we have
Yeah.
an open forum this evening. So hold on one second. I'm going to we don't have to hold on, but
Yeah.
I
I'm
want
sharing.
yeah, me too. Let me get in here and share as well. So we put the link right on the screen, and we're going to also post it right inside of the comment and chat boxes, so you guys can click that link if you want to join us. If you're serious about joining us live on Zoom, because I've had that the other day where I was up chatting and people were joining in on Zoom, and when I pushed them to come on in,
They
you know,
wouldn't.
they, no, then they disappeared or got nervous. So I don't know if they was thinking they had to click that link in order to see the show. I
Oh,
think that
okay.
what it was, and then when they realized, oh no, she's trying to pull me up live on screen. So only click the link if you want to join the show tonight, and the audience will see you just like they see Hanif and I right now. We can do that, not a problem. So yeah. What's going on, family? How you guys feeling? Give us a thumbs up, give us a like, share the stream. Somebody else out there may be home and maybe in a certain kind of mood and looking for some comfort or looking for some company, and they wouldn't mind seeing this stream come across and want to join us too. So make sure you share the stream out to all your social media sphere of influence. How you feeling tonight, Hanifa?
Mm-mm. I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. Got a few little struggles on my end going on, but I am working through them by the grace of Goddess. I am working through them.
Anything you care to share with us here on the world,
No,
on the world stage?
not really. Just more so dental stuff, man.
You said mental.
Dental
Oh,
stuff.
dental.
Yeah,
Oh
and
yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah, just some things could just be inconveniences, but
Hmm.
as I grow, I'm learning how to look for what I need to be learning in the experience, and it makes it so much easier to navigate. It really, really does. Perspective really matters, Alchema. Man, it does. It does. How about
Wow.
yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm still on a high note from that event we did yesterday. That was so
Oh,
cool. That
yeah, it really was.
was
It
so
was
cool.
beautiful
Yes, I
and
really
fun.
enjoyed myself. I really,
Yeah.
and it's always a plus when you can have fun and make a little bit of dollars at the same time. So shout out to all of y'all who came on and joined us last night and purchased things from everybody. So yeah, that was fun. And look, and if you haven't seen that show, I thought we did an excellent job. And I'm usually like a tough critic on myself. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
yeah, I looked back at the show and I was like, well, let me look and see, make some critiques or whatever, or what
Yeah.
we can do better next time or whatever. And my plan was to just watch a few minutes of it, and kind of fast forward through.
Hmm.
I wound up watching I was engrossed. because when you behind, when you on, and you don't really have the time to like really pay focus like
Right.
someone who is actually watching, sitting
Mhm.
at home watching, and just watching that show last night. It was very interesting. It was a fun show. So
Yeah, I think that there was some genuine love and celebration. That energy was there, and so it really just flowed, seamlessly. There wasn't no any performance, or everyone was just really showing up as themselves,
yeah,
and we were all there for that authenticity from each other, and I think that's what kind of kept it flowing like that. You
I
know what
agree.
I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and it was a good demonstration of sisterhood. And I was glad that you know, some of us saw like similar things, because at the end of the day, like, only she sells her knitted stuff, but it's
Mhm.
still like it's still like clothing, if in a sense. You also sell clothing. I sell mostly earrings, you sell earrings, and just seeing that we can do similar things and still collaborate
Right.
versus compete. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was a demonstration of that. And we need to see more of that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I'm trying to get the Zoom link over here because I have it here. Let me see. If I can do it real quick, family. Hang in there with me. Somebody's asking for the link so they can join us. So I have it here on my computer, but not on my phone. So give me a second, because the link is at the top too, family. So if you look at the top of the comment section on the page, you'll see the link in the description box there, but I'm going to also post it on the chat room. So here, bear with me 1 second. I just have to go onto Facebook here from my laptop and do it manually this way. So give me a quick second. Hopefully they'll let me do it. Woo, I got all kind of. Okay, here it is. Here's the link to join us on Zoom tonight.
Hey, Kendra.
Here it is. Okay, there it is, family. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see Kendra just asked to.
hit that link and
Come
yeah.
on, guys.
Let me see if I can pin it from here.
Because most of you guys, we just know
No.
from the comment section. So it'll be good
Yeah.
to put a name with a face, hear your voice.
No doubt.
So come on in, let's have a conversation.
Okay, here we go.
If you have a question for us.
Oh, here we go already.
Woo!
Activity. Hey, Curtis. Hey, Mr. Curtis Ball.
Kelly said we about to start something. Who's Curtis? Hey, Curtis.
This is our newfound friend that came on from Natasha. When we first had the first well, Natasha's been on like 3 times. Curtis, where are you? See, I hope he's not thinking that he has to be here to watch the show. I think that's be people thinking. Curtis,
if you can hear us, you're on the Zoom and you have to come on. You have to come open up your camera and your microphone.
Yes, sir. You can't be over here all shy body now. We got to see your face and see your expressions in your face and all that good stuff when you talk.
Come on down. You're the next contestant on the Empower Hour.
So yeah, family, don't click the link if you're not willing to come on live video with us tonight. We take your questions. Go ahead and type it on up, because this is the community forum. But I'm going to scoot Curtis on out and bring James on in, honey, for James Williams just joined in. So let's.
All right, come on in, James.
And Curtis, if you want. Oh, he said he in jammies. Okay, no worries,
No
Curtis.
problem.
No worries. Let me move you out of here. 1 second. Bear with me. I'm still um remove. There it is. Remove Curtis.
Oh, he could have actually just came in on audio too.
Okay. No, I don't want you. I don't want to report you. It's asking, do we want to report him? Oh, I see James left too. Okay, so no family. Again, we repeat, if you want to join us live on video tonight, go ahead and click that link. Other than that, you don't have to click the link. We're just going to have a conversation. Okay? So, oh, honey, for the science of mating. You laughed at me. You said that's
Oh
Let me
man,
share this thing too.
these civilized mammals out here.
So Hanifa that she asked me, was there anything on my mind that I wanted to talk about tonight? And I said, oh, for some reason, that's been like prevalent on my mind these days, the science of mating. And let me explain that. Um, basically, I think there's an art and a science to reproducing.
Okay.
Who reproduce with, when we do it, why we do it. You know what I'm saying? All those kind of things. And I think that we have it, because I think about back in the day how our ancestors back in the day used to marry children off. Well, not children, but marry the women off.
Arranged marriages.
Yeah, and I thought about how that really still goes on today in the
Oh
upper
yeah.
echelons of society,
But even in other cultures too.
in other cultures too. And I got to thinking about that, and I was like, I think there's some wisdom to that we ignore about how like let's just take, when I say upper echelons, let's just take people who are from wealthy stock, people who born into money. I'm talking big money, and how you don't ever see them like really the ones that's in the public sphere marrying blue collar workers
Mm-hmm.
or people of that nature. They
Mm-hmm.
seem to always marry into other what's the word I'm looking for? Um
Affluent.
Other families
Other
that,
affluent families.
yeah,
Affluent
thank you,
families. Mm-hmm.
other affluent families as well. And I know it's a culture thing there too. I get that, but and that helps to maintain the wealth in the family as the generations go on and on and on and on. And I think about how our ancestors used to do it. Back in the day, it's like, if you had a family, and a lot of times before the whole monetary system, because
Mm-hmm.
you got to think back past the dollar or
Mm-hmm.
before the dollar, and they would trade in things like farm animals,
Cattle and yeah.
cattle and land, and like, so if you know what I'm saying, so you come to a king and you want to marry his wife, his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to start a reality show
Yes,
right here.
yes, you are.
You want to marry his daughter, but you only have 10 cows to give. And
Mm-hmm.
here's another man who comes and requests his daughter's hand in marriage, and this other man has 100 cows to give.
Mm-hmm.
And how that plays out in the dynamics of keeping the wealth continuing in the family line, the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one aspect. I'm just talking money, you know what I'm saying? So, and things like that. So, the science of mating, that's been on my mind lately to, just kind of dig a little more deeper into that and fast forward to today.
They say that black people, this is the conversation that I've been privy to. There's a conversation around how we are the only people that marry for love. Have you ever heard that? That
Mm-hmm.
black people, yeah. And some people really feel strongly about that, and as far as that's where we're going wrong.
Mm.
or because something has something and I don't think it's just, well, they feel like something that can you can't build your future and the future of your generations to come and something as fleeting as love. And for me, my response is, I think we really need to redefine love within the context of culture. And because to say something as fleeting is to, use a definition of like one particular definition to say, because love is defined this way, that means it's just a fleeting emotion. Is someone coming in?
Yes, yeah, yeah, David.
Oh,
But go ahead, finish. I was just going to
yeah.
say,
So,
David, I
so
saw
I
him.
just wanted to know if you've heard about that, where people say Black people are the only people that marry for love, and that's part of our issue as far as building generational wealth and so forth.
Hmm.
Have you heard of that?
I've heard that. I've heard. I haven't heard it specifically that it's just us,
Mm.
because it's other people who marry. You know,
Yeah,
but
no, no, no. I'm talking about when there's like conversations talking about our community and wealth building. That
mhm,
tends to come up sometimes. I find it very interesting
yeah.
because I just be like, for me, it's sort of like, how are we defining love? Because that's part of the issue as well. So,
And then yeah, and then even on top of the whole, I know I gave a financial example, but like morality. So now I think about not even in a not so distant past, even right here in this landmass, where it was a time where if a young man was getting real serious about another young woman, and the woman had to meet their father.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? The young man had to meet this woman's father for approval, you know?
mm-hmm.
Because, the father wants to know what kind of person are you? Where are you coming from? What's your family background like? And, where's your head at?
No, we eloping and everything.
Right. Nowadays, I mean, the thought of that, some people laugh in your face.
Yeah.
But I wonder how how does that really affect our relationships today? The things that we've gotten away from, that we think is now taboo, silly talk.
Community. Our lack of community is allowing a lot of things to fall through the cracks.
Hmm.
Our lack of community is security. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't have any security, any protection, any safeguard like around certain things, which
Mm-hmm.
comes from the community, a lot of things are gonna fall through the cracks. And I think that's what's happening. I even when we were talking about like relationships, divorces, like all of these things, families should be involved in these things, right? Before it even escalates to that. Marital issues, like all of those things, community needs to be involved, domestic violence, like, I mean, you name it. The lack
Right.
of community is really allowing these things to go, unaddressed. The idea that my business is my business and it doesn't affect you is ridiculous.
Right.
And it is not African.
Right.
Right? It is that individualistic way of thinking and navigating this world. It is not us. That is not us. That is very left brain separatist thinking. And that's not called, that's not where we come from. However, I think it is what we have adapted to out of sheer survival.
See,
You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
break that down. What do you mean we adapted to it out of survival?
Well, because if we are in a white dominated culture, right? That separatist focusing more on the differences between people and
Mhm.
separating based on those different, that individualistic way of thinking is European, okay? And but we live in a European dominated society,
Mm.
okay? And so if I am going to be able to navigate that space, if I'm going to be able to survive it, which is what we talk about as well, a lot of us have bought into the idea that to survive you, I have to become you. And that's what's happening with our people. So there's a lot of confusion going on within our African bodies and our African minds because we're trying to fit a mold that is not ours. It's not indigenous to us and our wiring and our essence.
And we hurt
African people. Huh?
We hurt, we suffer big time.
Because we out here shifting. You know the type of stress that brings on your body. Listen, something as simple as code switching. Okay, there are different forms of code switching. I am going to use myself. I have an accent. I didn't come to the States until I was 16 years old, right? There's just certain things and ways that I just can't that is like certain ways of speaking that I find slightly painful. Saying things certain ways, it makes me uncomfortable. It makes my mouth uncomfortable. Okay, it brings stress onto me.
Interesting.
To have to shift in that way. Now that's just a wrong dialect, but there are Black people doing it every day in corporate America. Okay, that's stressful on the body, on the psyche. It's stressful.
Like you gotta be a Dr. Jekyll and a Mr. Hyde.
Correct.
All in the same day.
Yeah.
Sometimes within minutes of each other. Because let's say you in a boardroom and then you gotta excuse yourself to use the restroom, and you see one of your sister girls in the restroom, switching right on back to "What's up, girl?"
Yes.
And then a few seconds later, you get back in the boardroom and you're back to another totally different person.
Yeah, it's anyone that you talk to who is in like corporate America and stuff around, let's say, their hair texture, not being able to go to work wearing their hair the way you're wearing your hair, right? Because anyone that comes out of corporate America and now they're like, I could wear my hair like this or whatever it is, and I could literally show up authentically myself, right? Without feeling that I have to tone me down. When they leave, one of the things you always hear, I feel so much lighter. I feel so much better. I went to therapy because of these microaggressions. Like, like you got to know this thing takes a toll on our health. And so the system that we call America, and even trying to operate in this place, in this capitalistic society, right? Because capitalism, I mean, and you can talk about what our ancestors endured. The enslavement of our ancestors is definitely connected to capitalism. Like we can't talk about one without the other. Yeah. And the way that capitalism will use Black bodies or just bodies in general and discard of them afterwards, like they're machines. You know, right. They treat you and they treat you like machines, slave you like machines, and then discard of you when they have no more use for you, or where they done took all your juice. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. You know, I don't want to like take up all of the time on that.
But it's the community forum. So let's get some community in on the discussion. Kendra says, okay, wait a minute. Human, Abdul Malik, peace and blessings, beloved. He say, hey, goddesses, with love and power, keep moving the divine spiritual culture, frequency, vibration of our ancestors' energy. Kamamu, Black African spiritual man, Heru in manifestation. Hey, Jay Allen, Curtis says, arrange, Curtis in his PJs, says, arrange oriented marriage, question mark. You know, this thought has crossed my mind a lot this past year. You too, Curtis? Yeah, thank you. It has been. I've been wondering, like, you know, all these issues we have these days surrounding relationships for so many of us. Yeah. And I'm wondering if, you know, not wondering, we kind of breaking it down now, that a lot of it has to do with so much of our own culture we didn't got away from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they break down in our family structure, in the nucleus of it all is really the big issue, because how are you arranging anything and you don't even have a family structure to support that thing?
Like you said, we
Like,
out here eloping and stuff. You ain't even including the family.
yeah,
You ain't including the family.
I'm eloping because my mama and I have a strained relationship, and my daddy ain't never been there.
Teach on that one.
Open. So I mean, the family structure
One of
is
the most important decisions in your lifetime you'll make, and you going out here and you're not even bringing your family in on that decision.
Because our family structures, our family units are in shambles, and we have to begin to work on those things. Not only work on them, but also make the necessary sacrifices to keep them intact.
Yeah. Tanisha says, why you ain't tell me you on? Hey, Tanisha.
Hey, Tanisha.
Mom, love is the law of vibrational energy, and it's universal. Black African spiritual, that he repeating himself. Hey, David. Everything is spiritual and divine, and we must get into culture reality via our ancestors. Absolutely, Humam, I agree. King Kennard is tuned in. Big up West Indian family. He's saying big up.
King Kennard, big up yourself.
Yes, Tanisha mentioned code switching. Ja is on. King says very stressful, especially when you don't realize you're doing it. That's a point. All that subconscious stuff. Now it's seeping right into your subconscious like driving a car. You don't even realize you just going from A to B, and you get out the car and it's like, wow, you just was on autopilot the whole time. Good
Very
point.
true.
Good point, King. Tanisha says, I hear in our dialect and then translate to standard English.
Yeah, there is a filtering that happens. Absolutely. Because I know, like, sometimes I have to think through what I'm about, like certain words that I'm going to say, and it's not even the words, because I mean, just like English was forced on your ancestors, they were forced on mine. It's just more so like the way that we the denunciation, like the way we say certain words, the dialect. I literally have to be like, okay, if I say this, somebody gonna ask me to repeat myself. So let me get it right in my mind first before it flow off my tongue. It is exhausting, okay? It is just exhausting.
Yeah. So what's on you guys' mind, family out there? What's on your mind? Let us know. Share the stream. Give us some thumbs up so we can get some activity going through the algorithms. And let us know what's on your mind. What do you want to talk about tonight? Kendra said it's important to keep African American culture. Never forget where you come from. Absolutely, Kendra. She says also true. It's good to be in a good relationship with the man. And I've seen you a lot lately, Kendra, popping up. So we appreciate the love, all the love and support you've been giving us here lately.
Yeah, but what you're speaking about, yes, the family unit matters, because the cultures that actually still practice what you're talking about, we call it arranged marriage. You know what I'm saying? I call it securing the bloodline.
I call it the science of mating.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, I mean, for me, those cultures, the way I see it, those cultures, their family units pretty much are intact. You know what I'm saying? So you have mother, father, everybody coming to the table. Like, it really boils down to our family structure. We got to figure out how to work on that. And like we were discussing the other day, I'm just like, we have not, like, I posted a status today, and this idea, like, when we have these conversations about how we are taking these Eurocentric concepts and ways of doing things and apply, like, we don't want to really understand and really admit to that, and not only that, we don't want to do the work of undoing that. So then now we're taking these into our relationships. And when I say relationships, I'm talking about relationships across the board. Like we were talking about sisterhood, how we see each other as women, the cattiness, the idea that we have to have some sort of friction between us because we're women. is bull crap, right? And we really need to start like changing that narrative, because that is not necessarily true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you asked the question today, what is something that, you know, people are proud of? And that's why I answered that way. One, this idea that of, oh, trust no one. And people are having that tattooed on their bodies. And, you know, I know a guy that have it tattooed across his throat. You know what I'm saying? Like straight across his throat. Or this thing of, oh, I don't have any woman friends. I don't trust, you know, and people wear that as a badge of honor. And I'm like, sis, you ain't got no sisterhood? Like none?
Hey, yeah, I asked a question on my page
Yeah.
today. I said, what are some of the things that people brag about that they really should be ashamed of? Let us know, family, on the stream. Let us know. What are some things that you've noticed that people will brag to you about, and you thinking to yourself, "Oh, wow, that's not cool." Let us know. But yeah,
Oh,
I had some interesting
come
feedback. A
back
lot
to
of
the question here, Alkama. Um, Kinard, he says, I am really confused what the family structure is supposed to look like as a Black man. A lot of us men not seeing marriage beneficial, especially in America. My question is, what's a prototype of a good family structure someone could use as a guide and be successful?
mm,
You want to take that?
mm, an example of a good family structure. I would say, um, a healthy union, which maybe look like not a lot of conflict. Not children who are happy, and that are being educated in a way that brings them closer to who themselves, and really the parents too. That falls on the parents too, as far as being educated to bring them closer to themselves. Because I think once you do that, the happiness and the contentment comes along with that, in a lot of ways. Because so um yeah, those are some of the things off the top of my head I could think of. How about you, Hanika? That was a good question, King.
Yeah, I think it's for me, it's more so like no one person being subjugated to the other, like
Hmm.
based solely on gender. I think it's really
Mm,
um getting to know, I'm talking about the two people first, then the family,
mhm,
getting to know themselves,
mhm,
right? And then getting to know each other and honoring that, those differences in each other, right? And then allowing them, their children, to see them doing that. It not only prepares them to go out into the community and function that way, where you're not going out there and because somebody shows up different and they're not functioning or showing up the way that you think they should, that now you busy chewing off another Black woman or another Black man here. That starts from in the homes, by the way. And I know you talk about this a lot, and I'm like, it's because a lot of us come from very combative environments.
What's that?
Okay.
What's that?
We talk about where how we treat each other even on the internet in conversations where
Okay,
somebody have a different opinion,
got you.
so I think
Got
it passes on to the children. And I'm saying to you, a lot of that is because a lot of us come from very combative home environments.
you. I agree.
That's a
Yeah,
fact.
I
You
agree.
know what I'm saying? But we don't talk about that. And
That's
so
what I
if
mean when I
right,
say
you see a Black
the
man and a Black
conflict.
right, a Black man and a Black woman constantly in conflict with each other. You're coming from that space. You go out into the community amongst Black men and Black women. That is how you are going to relate to them. The
Yeah,
minute they show up as something that's different from what you think they should be, you
yeah.
know. So I think that
And
not.
go. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
I think that like not any one person being subject, like people respecting each other's differences. I will also say that um find what works for you guys. Like there's some basic principles, where you like the principles of Ma'at, right? That two people can follow in their relationships just to start out and then connect with other people who is on that same path. You know what I'm saying? And connect with them in a genuine way, though, in an authentic way, where you're not showing up like expecting them to have a perfect relationship, or
Yeah.
you're trying to show up like you have a perfect relationship. I actually think that's a part of our detriment, is that there's a lot of dishonesty,
Right.
in a lack of transparency around our relationships.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the minute that we see someone who we think is like the perfect like he said, prototype of that,
Mm-hmm.
and then something happens and they're not together anymore, and it's like now we're devastated, right? And we're like, I don't trust this anymore. And I'm like, it's because you shouldn't even be going into anything thinking that these relationships are perfect. So I just think that knowing each other and then finding like-minded people who are also on the same path and who are committed to keeping their family unit together. Commitment is important.
Yeah, I would say, and I see you, Kelly and Kendra, I'm coming to you. Um, um, the silent conflict too. We think conflict has to always be rah rah up in each other's face and battling it out physically and all that kind of stuff. But there's a silent conflict that comes with um, uh, dysfunctional relationships too. Like for instance, when um, a child grows up not knowing who the father is. Let's go there. Or you know what I'm saying, the family split when they were little and nobody, you know, the mother and father don't talk anymore. You know what I'm saying? So the father ain't around. It's not any physical combative energy in the household, but it's still conflict there because you know what I'm saying, there's no unity, there's no harmony, even, you know what I'm saying, the fact that they're not together anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that can go a lot of different ways. And I'm with you too. And I think that just two individuals doing the very best work they know how on getting their own houses in order, I think that alone will attract other people to you that's in that same space. I
Hey,
think
go ahead.
that's a part of it that I think that we don't really fully grasp. That we think that we have to go out here and search and look around and where's Waldo and okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go now to the gym looking cute because I gotta find me somebody, and not saying that, you know what I'm saying, you won't. But I think we don't understand just in our regular day-to-day activity of living. And when we are doing what we need to do for ourselves and changing some dynamics, because the spirit world is real. It's as real as this physical world. It's real. So it's working. Just because you don't see it and just because you don't understand it, don't mean it's not working. And it's working for you, or it's working, or you working against it. Because I don't think the spirit world works against you deliberately. It's you working against it, or her, or she, or however you want to describe it. But I think that when we really ready and get into the mindset and really ready, you know, that, you know, like anything else, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Correct.
I think
I
that's,
was
you know,
I
but
came on to the program. I'm Kendra. We about to get to you because I'm
and Kelly
Kelly.
first.
Kelly said no new friends, which
That
is
was
what,
a
yeah, I
conversation
want to
she
touch
wanted
on.
to chat on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, and then we're gonna segue into what she's talking about because that's important. But I came onto the program after responding to our lovely brother Kwame, who posted a picture of his bookshelf and was just asking what we were reading.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sharing with him, like, you know, I used to, he was asking me if I read cover to cover. And I said, yes, I usually do. But some books, like, I go back to, right? And I'm finding that the more I tune into self and study self, the less books I read. So one of the things that I was thinking when I was coming, setting up my stuff, I was just like, you know what? I shouldn't know more about Marcus Garvey than I know about myself.
Mm. Mm. That's a thought.
You shouldn't know
That's
more
a
about
thought.
Francis Cress Wilson than
Mm.
you know about your partner, your wife.
All right, conscious community, you hear her talking to you.
So don't come to me and quote me what Francis, you know what I'm saying? Or Joy DeGroy, or who else we have? Marimba Annie, like whoever else you want to speak of. Don't quote me as a woman, them, and you don't even know my love language.
Good teacher.
You don't even know my favorite color. You don't even know that I like surprises. You don't even know what turns me on or what turns me off. You understand what I'm saying? So here I am. I could tell you when Garvey was born. I could tell you about Kwame. I could tell you about the Black Panther Party, all of that. So I have all this knowledge about all of these people, but I do not know self. And what the mistake is, we think that knowing these people is knowing self. Not necessarily. Because Kwame Nkrumah is Kwame Nkrumah. Alkama Malik is Alkama Malik. Right? Even though they share in some ancestral experiences, you are still you. So how in the world am I out here studying? And I'm not against studying. I'm not even against like reading. I love books. But how do you know more about these people than you know about yourself? The greatest book you will ever read is the book of self.
Good teacher.
Period. So I just kind of wanted to just throw that out there. But yes, we want to get to know new friends.
No new friends, Kelly say. Kelly, give us some example. Give us some example.
You know what that means, Alkama.
But you know, I want her to elaborate too. So we know for absolute sure. And Kelly, if you want to join us tonight, we're open. We're open. So anybody, if you guys want to join us on the live on Zoom, just go ahead and click that link at the top. I was trying to get it copied and paste. And if somebody can do that for us on the stream, I would love you so much more. If you could just click the copy the link we have at the top and paste it here in the stream as well. For those who may not know, coming in late. Yeah, no new friends. No new friends. What does that mean? Like,
so let me just, for those that just joined us, the reason why we're mentioning Kelly mentioned no new friends, because Alkama asked the question of what are some things that we boast about that we should actually be embarrassed or
right.
Right. I just want to put it in context. Yeah, because there's some people that's just joining in. So just to, like they say in Clubhouse, just to refresh the room.
Yeah.
Well, just put it in context. So Kelly's response is this idea of no new friends.
Yeah.
And it is problematic.
Hashtag.
Yeah, right. And we brag about no new friends, and it's like, sis, bro, like you are like robbing yourself of an opportunity for growth.
I was just gonna say, stunting your own growth.
Why?
That's real. That's really what we do. How do you know that a new friend coming up can't give you some insight or some things that you had no knowledge about that'll take your whole life to another stratosphere? How do you not know that? But you cutting off. I don't want no new friends. You know what I'm saying? So that's illogical. Here's Kelly.
Coming in. Okay, so she can elaborate.
Kelly.
Tell us what you mean by no new friends, sis.
Yeah.
How people feel like it's an honor to not have to widen your circle, to broaden your circle.
What? Okay.
Anybody else? What is other things that people brag about out there that you think is we should really?
I think I need to close my Facebook.
So I'm thinking, Kendra says, my question I have is, why do some African American men want to get married if they're not even being on the same page? That's another good question. So I'm assuming, Kendra, you mean, okay, and he does not want you to have no friends because he wants you all to himself. That's a red flag.
That's a whole nother level of just marrying you and he not ready.
That's a red flag. What you mean he don't want you to have no friends? Oh, wait, you mean no friends? Is that what you mean? He don't want you to have any male friends because he wants you all to himself. That's still a red flag for me.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Even, you know, how you gonna tell me who I can be friends with? Again, that control thing. That control thing is real. It's like, how you going? Hell, I was a whole person loving life before you came along. How you gonna now trying to rearrange me into your square box? That's crazy.
That's insecurity.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and they're
But you said
projecting that onto you.
Yeah, that's
You know what
real.
I mean? Yeah, and this idea, you know how I feel about this idea of like possessing people. I have a serious issue with that. I have an issue of people talking about she's mine and he's mine. I have issues around that. Like I have issues of how we discuss each other. You know, it's always in the sense of possessing each other. And I'm like, we're not here to possess one another. You know what I'm saying? Like we're here to respect who each other is and provide the space for people to be their best selves. Like trying to possess another human being is delusional. Is delusional. And the reason why you're hurt when someone no longer wants to be with you is because you really, really, really thought that somehow you possess them.
They took ownership.
Yeah. You really thought that you owned them. And I'm just like, no, I'm sorry your feelings got hurt, but you believed in a lie.
That is a good point. I'm glad you brought that up because I've been the victim on both sides where prior to more growth, because then you're growing from the cradle to the grave. So prior, actually, Hanifa, you actually gave me this bit of wisdom and I ran with it about the whole control thing and, you know, we can't, you know, the whole possession thing. And to where beforehand, you know, I would be, you know, hurt and, you know, where you going, who you with? Nah, And then I came into a relationship and it lasted 9 months and it didn't work out. And they decided to do something other or be with somebody else. Now, prior to the whole control conversation me and you had, I probably would have been curled up in my bed crying for weeks. But I was able, because I was in a different frame of mind at that point, I was able to really maneuver out of that situation with my emotions intact.
With grace.
Yeah. Right. Because I understood that what's for me is for me. You know what I'm saying? And I can't force you to do anything that you as against your own will. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to bless you to have a beautiful life without me. I'm not holding no grudges, no animosity. I ain't mad at you, none of that stuff, because I'm in a different place. And I know that, okay, this is, you know, if this is what the universe is saying is not going to work, then okay, well, let's roll with that.
Now, I will say what I can hold you to is your commitment to a particular outcome. I want to be clear on that. So that's because really that's what marriage is. Okay. So if Kelly and I look and we say we sign a contract, for example, we're gonna work on this project together. Okay. Kelly now want to abandon the project. You understand? I can say, no, Kelly, this is what you committed to. Now I still can't make Kelly stay. I can't. But there will be some consequences to her abandoning the project. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying, like the commitment to a certain outcome to it, yes, but the control and possessive aspect of it, absolutely not. Absolutely, you can't even control your own children. So what are we doing?
Right. Tanisha, we see you here. Again, family, if you want to join us live on the stream and communicate here, we welcome you. Come on in. But if not, don't click that link. Don't click the link unless you want to join us live here on Zoom. Okay? So, Tanisha, I see that you're not on. So I'm going to put...
So I see the audio.
Okay.
Oh, it says she's connecting. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so if you're not...
Yeah, there she is.
Oh, hey.
Oh, there she is.
Hi, guys.
Okay.
Listen, I'm going to be
a little patient, huh?
Yeah. You know what concept I don't really get? when
Okay.
people say haters are my motivators. Like, how?
Mm.
I don't understand that. So, why is hate motivating you?
Mm.
I don't get that.
Do you think
Like,
maybe they're talking about like transmuting that energy? Do you think that's what that is, or?
but to me, right? It's like, if you have evolved to a certain point, why are you still concerned with your haters, and how can they even motivate you in any way? Like, why are you like, how does that play into anything that you're doing? Because if I know someone does not have my best intentions at heart, we don't, because you're not gonna like everybody. Everybody's not gonna
Right.
like you.
Mhm.
So why am I even bringing that energy in my space at all to say like, oh, this person's a hater? They're motivating me. I never understand that. I just don't get it.
That's an
It's
interesting
baffling to
concept.
me.
I never thought of it like that.
It's
I never
baffling to
thought of
me.
it like that. Good
So to
point.
me, if I see you as a hater, quote unquote, then you're not even really in my consciousness, so
Mm.
to speak.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So if I entertain you as a hater, that means that there's something more there.
Good point.
You
Because
know?
that's a frequency. Because
Mm.
if you're hating me, I get your point, then we are not even functioning on the same frequency. So in
Right.
order for me to even use that energy as fuel, I now have to be within the same frequency as you.
Right,
Got it.
right, right, right. So that's why,
Good point.
I used to say it a long time ago, and I'm like, okay, so then those haters have to mean something to me if they're even coming up in my consciousness. Because I think about people who, they don't really mean anything to me. Like, they just don't,
Yeah.
and they don't come up for me at all. So, yeah, that's a strange one. And I get what we're saying. I think what we're saying actually is, although people don't like me, I'm not gonna let that stop me. I'm
Right.
on my own path. But that's not the energy that you're giving it when you say my haters motivate me.
Right.
Haters look at me. So it's like, it's almost a level of I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Um it's like we still want to be seen by those haters. They still matter to us in some
Whoa,
way.
there you go.
We
Mm-hmm.
There
still
you
want to
go.
be seen by them
Yeah,
because
that's interesting you said it because when people would jump on social media and say things like, I don't give a F what y'all think, and da 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 da. And I'm thinking, I'm like, well, yes, you do, because
Mhm.
you wouldn't even say that. Why would you know what
Right,
I'm saying? If you
right.
ain't care, then you wouldn't even care to mention it.
You had to get up in the morning, get dressed, brush your teeth, wash your face, log into social media, take your fingers, type that thing out, post it, to then say you don't care. That's a lot of energy you just put
A
into
lot,
that.
Right.
a lot,
Yeah. Yeah.
a lot.
So let's
So
go.
I get it. I get it. That makes a lot of sense.
So
Yeah.
I'm a
So
little concerned, Kendra. Kendra says her friend doesn't want her to have no friends, male or female.
Was Kendra trying to come in?
No, I don't think so.
She
But Kendra,
tried. She said she couldn't get in. She couldn't ping the link.
yeah, the link is at the top, family, at the top of
Well,
the page.
if somebody though is trying to possess you to that degree, says
that's a whole
might
different.
worry. Yeah,
That's
that's
a whole
another
different
Kelly,
thing.
are
like.
you in a position to be able to copy that link and paste it in the
Sure. Yep, I sure can.
Thank you, sis, because
You're
I
welcome.
couldn't do it.
Kelly,
I
come
thought
through.
I did it.
That's a
Yeah,
whole different level of possession, boy.
Yeah,
Oof.
that's
yeah.
what
I'm a little
Go ahead,
concerned.
Alkema. You want to address it?
Kendra, yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. I think that that's not healthy at all, and that's borderline like control.
Control.
You
Hmm.
know?
Emotional abuse.
Yeah, because it can be some serious. I don't know, because of course I don't know it all, but usually that's how it starts. You know what I'm saying? You start out a relationship and it'd be cute at first. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he cute,
Is
he
it?
worried, he concerned about where I'm at, who I'm with. And then the next thing you know, you got to creep. You got to walk on eggshells and, you know what I'm saying, call people in the dark and quiet because you don't want them to know who you on the phone with because now they, you know what I'm saying, trying to possess your every moment.
Right.
That's
So
not
be
healthy.
careful.
That's not healthy.
That person,
It's a
you
form
have
of
to,
abuse.
right. You have to think
Thank
that,
you.
what space is he in that he wants to be your be all and your end all anyway? Because if you don't have any friends, because a huge misconception, right? Remember, we was talking today online, Hanifa, about our images of love. So I think one of those images of love that we have adopted that's not really ours is it's just me and you against the world, baby. Just me and you. That's not us. You know, we are about community. It's not
Yes.
just me and you know? So when someone wants to be your be all and your end all, that's not going to work because no one person has whatever it takes to pour into you the way that you need to. They can't do it. It's
Absolutely.
impossible. It's
Absolutely.
impossible.
Absolutely. And
So
that
if
goes
this,
both ways. Because
right,
for anyone to even approach a relationship with that, this is why I go back to monogamy, but that's another conversation. Because to approach a relationship with that mindset that somehow you're going to get everything you need out of that one person is crazy. And for that person to even think that they're going to get everything out of you is insane. And so, yes, I
yes,
agree. Community is definitely necessary. And that person is isolating you from
right.
community when they're asking you to be there, you know, for
So
them to be your one and
essentially,
all.
what they're saying is, I don't want anybody else pouring anything into you. Just me. I just want it to be me. So I want you to stay right here at this level. I don't need any additional thoughts. I don't need you to have any additional conversations with anybody else. It's like, possession, mind control, all of that.
Yeah,
And
You know?
they're only giving you 3%. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
move you and your 3% self out my way, asking me to settle for your little 3, stop it.
yeah, and that be their issue all the way. You know, we.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Alethea, we see you watching. We're doing this open forum, open community forum tonight.
Yes.
So yeah, tell us, shoot out what you want to talk about. What's on your
So
mind?
hey, ladies, I'm gonna jump off the Zoom. I'm just gonna listen, okay?
Yes,
All right.
Thank you so much for letting me come in.
Thank you.
Appreciate
All
you.
right.
So King Kanar says, I think it's because the fear of being alone in reference to Black men wanting to marry but not on the same page. A lot of men have that fear of being alone. Mm-hmm.
I think a lot. I feel like a lot.
Patrick.
I feel like when we highlight the fear of being alone, it's from a really feminine perspective. We focus so much on the woman around that. And I think because we perceive the woman as the more emotional being, so there's that whole attachment around but I don't think we talk enough about our men and their fear of being alone, because that's as real as some of our women fear of being alone as well. So that can be a factor. We just don't discuss it from the angle or from the place of men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kendra said she's trying to get on. I told her to go ahead and click that link. Kelly posted the link, family. So if you want to join us here on Zoom, click that link Kelly Smith have posted right here on the stream, and it'll bring you on up.
She also said the person has a disorder, schizophrenia.
Yeah, that's clear. Usually they do. That's not normal behavior. That's abnormal behavior for sure.
Some mental health up there.
Like when people call you 50 million times a day, you know what I'm saying? In the beginning, that's how I think we get, it's real. I think we get caught up because in the beginning stages, we think it's cute. You know what I'm saying? We think that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, he really into me.
And he started laughing like, no.
Really into me. She just want, want my attention right now, and your phone ringing every other minute.
No.
And then, you know what I'm saying, 6 months, 9 months in, you like, oh, they still doing it, but now the conversations get more
Alchema, you're talking about it from the perspective of a woman who doesn't need that. But there are a lot of women in those type of relationships who need that, and that's why they remain in them, because for them the control aspect is their interpretation of love. Honestly, like there are people who come from homes where the environment was extremely controlled, right? They didn't have any space to really be, so when they go out into the world, like this is all of us. A lot of us are looking for familiarity in relationships. We are looking for something that makes us feel at home. At home for you isn't at home for me. My at home could be chaos. And so when I look for a relationship, I am looking for some chaos. And like I always say, if the chaos in there, I'm going to create it because I need to be comfortable. And again, we're talking about toxic, unhealed people, right? Once we start to heal, these things change. But there are women and men who interpret that control as love for whatever reason. And so they seek out those type of relationships. There are women who, there's a man that's working and she's like, well, he only texts me once today, and says, you ain't got nothing else to do with your time. Right. You know what I'm saying? Well, I call him and he said he's going to call me back because he's at work. Well, when was this? Well, that was like an hour ago. Yeah. What time does he get off? At 5. What time is it? 3. Chill, sis. Go find something to do. Go watch a series. Binge. I mean, come on. Don't do something. But what it is that they need that, right? Because that's interpreted as love for them. So what you're talking about is people who in that area, because I like to think because we're such complex and multifaceted and multi-layered beings, that in one area of your life, right, you can function in a healthy manner. And then in other areas, you can function real unhealthy. So what you're talking about in that sphere of like relationship, that's someone who has, they have a healthy relationship perspective. What you're talking about, when you're like 6 months in, you're like, you're a lunatic. Stop blowing up my phone, deuces, right? But there are women who are in relationships like that for years and years and years because it works for them. There are women who is like, they need to know that you're going to get jealous over them. So they'll create a situation. Men too, they'll create a situation to provoke that in you. And then when they see it, it's like, he loves me. Even if that means that person backs them across their face, they still is like, well, he loves me. And that's what I'm saying. That's because that area of their life, they need to do some work in. They need to do some healing in. So
that sounds like a hole that needs to be filled. You got a hole somewhere.
That's probably what they grew up with. That's what they're used to seeing every day. But yet they're whoever raised them still stayed together. They stuck it through. So that's what they're used to. And that goes back to what you started it off with your love language. Some people, their love language was created by what they were brought up in.
Very true. Very true. Good point.
Interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff. This relationship thing be the real deal, Holyfield. Hey, Ebony. Yeah. So, okay. So what's up? What else on y'all mind? It's 9:03. Y'all ain't talking to us out there. Then we gonna get on.
We had a few people that tried to come on. We had 2 people that did come on, and some people did give us some feedback. But yeah, I think there are a lot more people that are just listening. Kelly, you got anything else for us? Because you came in swinging. You like no new friends. Let's discuss this.
I mean, I can go back to what the other sister said. My haters are my motivators. That's another challenge they have in themselves, because they want to make somebody jealous, so they can't just succeed on their own.
I've come into that consciousness like maybe within the last 2 years, where people really don't feel accomplished unless there's like some villain as it pertains to their success. Like people don't know how to celebrate that success or really feel successful outside of some sort of like conflict or suffering of some sort. Like it's like, oh, they try to hold me back, but no, just celebrate the fact that you have arrived to where you're at. Like it doesn't even have to be that. And by the way, I actually think that people will create haters so that their experience to be successful could feel more real to them.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It's almost like using that as validation. You know what I'm saying? Like using people hating against you to validate where you're at. And that doesn't have to happen.
And I think also that it's a form of remaining in victim mode. It's a form of you know what I'm saying? You got to always be the victim in the situation as opposed to being the triumph. You triumph over, you know what I'm saying, your adversaries. And
right.
And let's move forward with that. But no, it's like, yeah, you know, yeah, I gotta point you out because yeah, the whole victim mentality.
Yeah, it's like what I told you, perspective matters. Perspective, it really matters. It really matters. It matters, and it determines how you're going to navigate certain spaces and how you are going to, like, whether or not you're going to have gratitude for that experience. Like that is it. Perspective matters. That's it. Tanisha, you back with us?
Something on your mind?
So, Hanifa, I ain't say going, girl. Okay, so listen to this. You know when you were saying that we need a villain for our story? So it kind of reminds me of how the pull yourself up by your bootstrap American narrative of I was an underdog and all this stuff was against me and look what I did. It's kind of similar to that. It's like you can't just be successful for being successful sake. You have to have something else there. And people don't even know that narrative was created by rich people to make us feel like, you know, we weren't doing enough to be successful. So it's like you need this extra thing. Like if you don't have somebody hating you in the corner, that means you can't be successful. And I mean, that's a very toxic mindset. Very, very toxic.
Yeah, and I'm wondering though if it's the other people like the rich and the wealthy that kind of portrays that narrative, or is that really just something in our own subconscious mind that you know we take on? We think
she was explaining that what it is birthed out of, what is connected to the idea of pulling yourself up by the bootstrap. That's what she's speaking to when she talk about like the wealthy making it seem, pushing that narrative so that the poor, right, can feel like they are poor because they're not working hard enough. That there's a system in place that keeps them where they're at and keeps the elite where they're at. Right. So it's connected to that is what she was explaining. Sorry. Hey, Kendra.
Hi, girl. Welcome to the Empower Hour. Thanks for joining us live. Okay, well, share with us. Give us some little bit of insight of what's going on in your world.
Well, I have a job coming up. And I was explaining to you that I have a boyfriend that has schizophrenia, so I'm not with him anymore.
He's been diagnosed with, he told you he's diagnosed with, or you just...
He's diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Okay.
Is he on medication?
Yeah, but sometimes he refuses to take them.
Okay. And so
is he seeing a counselor, like actively seeing a counselor, like weekly?
I really don't know because he's in a group home now. So maybe the group home is helping him with that.
You should probably ask that Kendra, like get as much information about the situation as you possibly, as he'll allow, because I know that's kind of like a touchy mental health itself. People are not always as forthcoming or comfortable in sharing, but maybe getting as much information. If you're with this person, you have a right to know certain things, and if they are not willing to, then you have a decision to make, because mental health stuff, especially if there's like medication to help regulate certain things, um, you should know. You should be informed about what you're getting yourself into.
Have you guys been dating for a long time?
Yes, we have been, but now I'm just his friend.
Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
So you were talking about like we're saying it's a little bit possessive, but maybe you have a different term for it. But you were saying that, are you saying that the um wanting to have you to himself is connected possibly to his diagnosis?
I would say he just wants me to himself so that he can control me.
Mhm.
That's basically what I would say.
So you said that you were dating, but now you're friends now. Was that your decision?
Yes, that was my decision.
So you just decided to step back a little from the relationship?
Yeah, so what I did, I just blocked his number. So he does call still, but I don't pick up.
Oh, so you
Did you communicate that to him that you were stepping back? Is he aware that you all are no longer in the same relationship in the same capacity?
Yes, he's aware. I actually
Okay.
sent him a letter too to let him know that I just want to move on
mm-hmm.
and no hard feelings. We did have a good time, but now it's time for me to move on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you sound like you moved took the proper steps in the right direction. But yeah, just be real careful. You
We,
know,
we
that's
can't.
Can I
Right.
ask you, Miss Kendra, if you have any safety concerns?
Um, he did used to be aggressive, really aggressive, and one time when we were hanging out, he put his hands on me. So I did had to tell my mom, but my mom didn't do anything about it because she dropped us off at National Harbor.
mm-hmm.
So I had to report that to his mom.
How do you mind me asking how old you are, Kendra?
I'm 21 years old.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you said that so what about like right now, being that you've already sent a letter and everything and he's still like pursuing you, do you feel like any like anxiousness or anxiety around that? Are you afraid of him or anything like that?
Sometimes, yes, I do get afraid of him because actually he threatened to kill one of my friends,
Mm.
and my dad had to call I want to say, police or something like that to let them know that he's in a group home and to let the police know what he said.
Okay. I am going to right now. I'm set. I don't know. I don't think that I'm looking for you. You're on Facebook, right?
Yes, I'm on Facebook.
Kendra Ross. I'm trying to see if I can friend you so that I can talk to you offline.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Yes, that's okay with me.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Hanifa.
Uh-huh, not a problem.
Kendra, I'm
Yeah.
just curious. What was like the initial signs for you, the
That's
warning
what I was gonna
signs
ask.
for
Yeah.
you that made you decide that this might not be a good idea and to go move forward with blocking your number and stuff? Like, what was some of the things?
Um, one of the things are he usually calls me like every day, and if I don't pick up the first time, he will call back again. Like last night, he called 15 times,
Mm.
and I told him that you cannot do that because I have things I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So this is still going on currently.
Yes.
Okay.
And there was any other signs? I know you said he got aggressive with you physically, do you mind sharing what it was that put him? Them, no. Okay.
Oh, that put him.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
I just want to kind of give the audience information to go on, you know. But okay.
Yeah. I think this is an offline conversation. I think that and it's also because the Empower Hour, everyone has access to this.
Yeah, because it'll still be live after
It's an
we
open
go
conversation.
off.
And yeah, that's all. That's all, Alchema. And so,
Okay.
Kendra, I'm trying to find you, baby girl. I am trying to find you, sis, but I am not finding you.
I'll help you.
Yeah, you know, Miss Manager. Miss Manager down there.
Thank you,
She
Kelly.
will find
But Kendra, I'm gonna reach out to you offline. Is that okay with you?
Yes,
And
that's okay with me.
we can have a conversation behind the curtains about this. Yeah, let's go from there, because I don't want you to say too much or
Right,
even more,
right.
even much more. I think we have a picture of what's happening, and I think that's enough to draw from. And I don't want to kind of like expose you to, to that degree. So
Right.
Kelly's gonna help me find you. And I'm gonna reach out to you, sis. But if I could just let you know that you're not alone. You're
Not
not
at
alone.
all.
Right.
You are loved. You are worthy. You do not need to settle. Okay. Your future is bright. Okay. You don't have to accept any type of abuse or anything that makes you feel lower than your best self. So I just want to speak life into you before you get off. And I'm going to definitely follow up with you and have a conversation behind closed doors with you. You already gave me the head nod. And so I'm going to make that happen. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Alchema, you have anything to say?
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on and being strong enough to actually come on and share this. That's big. That's big.
Yes. Yes.
And so you're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. We got your back.
I was going to say, you got sisters.
Are you in the Maryland area?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay, we got you, sis. I'm gonna touch base with you, okay?
Is that RBG flag in the background?
Yeah, that is.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you ain't good company, girl. Yeah.
Kendra, I just sent you a message. So when you get a moment, just respond to it for me, okay?
Okay, I will.
Take your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.
Cool.
Thank you all.
You're welcome, sis.
You stay blessed.
You too.
All right, sis.
I'm glad she got through.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, honey, because you know me. I'm the interviewer. So
I know.
And Hanifa is the auntie.
I'm ready to get
so
line items.
Right. Yeah, we'll definitely get that offline. Well, she's yeah.
Yeah, let's connect to Kendra offline, ladies.
Okay. So okay, King says something people say that seem okay but may not be. I made it on my own, or I am self-made. I am so glad he said that. I am so glad you said that. Yeah.
Not possible. Not possible.
Yeah, 100 thumbs up on that. Yeah.
Wait, I missed that. What did he say?
He said, where he at? Something else people say that seem okay but may not be is I made it on my own, or I'm self-made. Yes, that's a big one too.
Yes, brother. Yes, brother.
Self-made millionaire.
1 minute, brother Vaughn. Yes, it's an open forum. People are tapping on the link and they're just coming up and to speak about different things. He asked a question. So if you want, you're welcome as well. But yes, that is no different than I trust no one and I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone. I said to you on your thing, those are trauma-based responses, and we don't even realize it.
And it's not the truth.
It's not the truth, but it is. You know what it is? You know what? You know how the sisters, and I'd be like, stop it. How we have this thing where we have to appear strong even when we're hurting.
Yeah.
or we have to appear like you right. That's what that is. That is a coping mechanism.
Mm.
That is a coping mechanism. That is all
So
it
they
is.
had, so those type may have felt like nobody was there for them during
Thank you. And
times of need.
right. And so what happens is what you now develop is this thing about yourself, because it's really just to protect. What you're protecting is the child in you.
Mm.
You're protecting that child from ever feeling that pain again.
Mm-hmm.
And so you build up walls around that part of yourself, right? To where that wall says, I don't trust, I don't need anyone. It's a trauma-based response. That is all it is.
Yeah.
And we take pride in it and we wear it like a badge of honor. And
Yeah.
it's not something that we should be honoring, it's something that we should be healing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, King. That was another good one. Yeah, I always frown up when I hear people say that. I made it, I'm self-made, and you know what I'm saying, things like that. I'm like, how does anybody get anything in this life without the assistance and aid of others? That's just impossible. So it's really a lie you telling yourself. Really.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just sent them the link.
It is an open forum, yes, brother.
I can't see the comments anymore, guys. My phone died.
Straight Black Pride is here too. We don't play that. Yes, indeed. I know y'all don't play that one. Can you send the passcode? Vaughn, it's the link Kelly has right here. Yeah, come on, please join us tonight.
Right. Yeah, I just tagged him in it too.
Yeah,
so hopefully he'll see it.
Voice
I'm stepping away. Let me get my charger, guys. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Well, Kendra, thank you for joining us this evening. I'm saying us. Thank you for joining them to see.
Yeah, Vaughn, the passcode is right there on the stream. The one Kelly Smith has. Put on the link, and anybody else, we'd love to hear a male perspective on tonight's conversation. So come on and join us on the link. Brother Vaughn has asked for the passcode.
Yeah, hopefully he'll see the link. It seems like it's taking a minute to get in here though. But
So yeah, so again, family, this is an open forum tonight. You know, me and Hanifa had decided to just open the floor to what you guys wanted to talk about this evening. So
right.
Tell us what's on your mind. What you're thinking, what you're feeling, anything. It doesn't have to be on relationships and whatever's the hottest thing, you know, that you want to discuss right now. Maybe it's something you're dealing with in your personal life. Maybe it's some public something that's going on that you really have a strong opinion about. You know, we want to take all that. So come on, share with us. Because if not, we are getting off. Because we did go over our time tonight. So, hey, Ebony, see you on. Brother Vaughn, you joining us? We don't want to get off if you have something to say on live.
I'm sure it's powerful.
Oh, you know it. You hear me? That's why I keep screaming.
Right.
Hello, Vaughn.
Right.
We're still
right.
Yes.
Yes. Do y'all have any plans coming up for Akuma Day? I don't. I'm gonna be upfront honest. I don't. I just figure I'd share off y'all's love.
Share with those who may not know what that is.
Focused on, I have so many birthdays this month. That's all that's on my mind.
Really?
My toddler is about to be 2.
Oh.
And yeah, and like on the 8th. And so I'm just thinking, you ask him how old he is right now, he'll tell you 2, sweetie. He said 2 because we've been practicing for a couple of months now. So he'll tell you 2.
Already.
Yeah, I'm just so I'm here trying to find him some flashcards and everything for his upcoming birthday because I'm so impressed with him. He's such a brilliant little mind. He really, really is.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
He really is.
So somebody said people don't practice what they preach. Why is it so easy to deal with others' baggage than your own?
Why is it so, what now?
Somebody said people don't practice what they preach. Why is it so easy to deal with others' baggage than your own?
Good question.
Wow, these
questions.
They got the next one is powerful too. The next question is powerful too.
Okay, well, let's deal with the baggage one. I would say it's because it doesn't feel good. You know, it really doesn't, especially when something that's displeasing about yourself. And you know it. You know it. You know what I'm saying? But instead of, it doesn't feel good to address that issue. And so we run, we reject, we push against, you know, all that stuff, you know, we block. And so, and the more and the longer we do that, the further away from self work and self healing we get, because you got to sit in that kind of stuff and really grasp what it means to you. You know what I'm saying? What it means to your life. And that's why it's easier to tell you, Kelly, that I see all the point out all the flaws I see in you. That's easy because it doesn't affect me the same emotionally when I do that. Now, somebody, and I got to sit here and say, well, wait a minute, you know, I'm talking about her, but, you know, last night I just did this, that, and another. You know what I'm saying? That don't feel too good. So we don't like to go there emotionally. So.
Yeah, it's a form of deflection.
I'm trying to.
It's a form of deflection. Deflection because.
Give me a second, Vaughn.
We don't want to face our own reality, and instead of dealing with it, you know. Listen, I'm about to say something that is probably not going to sit right with a lot of people.
Bring it on.
I even think that some of us choose partners around that. We choose partners that have the same things within them that need to be fixed within us. And we take them on as a project.
Oh, I'm done with projects.
For versus fixing it in ourselves. Let me get this person. In a sense, you really want to fix yourself, but instead of doing that, you will rather go find someone who is showing up as your reflection and try to fix it in them. That happens a whole lot, and more than we're willing to admit. So much of our poor decision making, is rooted in our inability to heal or refusal to heal. So many of our poor decision making goes back to your initial thing, Alchema, in choosing mates. All of that is rooted in our unhealed wounds. That's it.
Track who we are.
Yeah,
I believe that to my core. We may not
understand
it. We may not understand it. And you know, we'll be dismissive of that too, because we don't understand it. We'll dismiss that. You know what I'm saying? He crazy. You know what I'm saying? No, we attract who we are. You know that energy is real. Again, that's going back into that spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, we operate a lot of us solely in the physical, and we don't even take account. I think it's half and half. Just like everything else in life, the dualities of life, the yin yang and the balance in the ma'at, the physical and the spiritual. But so many of us operate so much in the physical that we overlook, or we are blind about what's going on in the spiritual world. And so when these energies attract, so this other energy that's so close to our own, and we connect, because birds of a feather flock together. You know, people in certain circles, they with other people in certain circles, and not just the human being either, or mankind either. This goes on in the animal kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Which we are a part of nature. And so when you are these energies are attracting you, and you're there with them, but it's so much conflict and turmoil and chaos, and you trying to point the finger at them and trying to make them the sole reason for all your troubles in your life, because you don't realize how you are attracting those troubles. You haven't sat and realized the balance of why, in fact, that these type of people, what some people see and run the total opposite direction of. Oh, hell no, I want nothing to do with that. You actually bring them into your life and build a world around them with other people who are, you know what I'm saying, in another space, in another, because there's levels to this. It's levels to this, really, this life thing. And so,
don't worry about me.
Okay. And so, and so now you in this space with this other human being, and it make you, in your life is a living hell, and you want to point the finger and make it their fault, but you don't realize how you attracted that hell to your life.
Yeah.
What I got to say about that?
There's a word. Yeah. There's a term that people use. It's called shadow work.
Yeah.
This is why I believe in that, because I think that people don't realize that they're attracting who they are because people don't understand their shadow side. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the sides of themselves that they just would rather push aside and act like it's not there, or they haven't yet worked through. So they ignore it, but that doesn't mean that it's not a part of you. And so therefore you could still attract people that have those characteristics that's a part of your shadow, if you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, they call it shadow work, but I look at it in a broader sense. But yeah, that's pretty much what that is. But Kelly, I know you said we had another question, and I know Vaughn is coming in.
Yeah, I just texted him, so I think he's still coming.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's trying. We texting and emailing. The other one was about narcissists. Did you touch on that? The narcissist? How can a narcissist be a good parent?
That's a good question. I guess we would have to break down what a narcissist is.
Okay, well, that's a good start.
Because there's layers to that too, right? Clinically. But I think, Hanifa, I think you got a thing about that word. I think I heard you mention. No, I thought I heard you mention.
There's narcissistic personality disorder. You know what I'm saying? There's a disorder, but I am so careful because that term has been really thrown around the internet of late as much as toxic masculinity has, and it makes me cringe.
Everybody a narcissist these days.
Everyone not like somebody who is like, I want to pursue my career. I don't want any children. Oh, you narcissistic. You know,
oh, wow.
Everything should not be labeled as narcissism. And I know that's like a word, and because it's like one of them words with many syllables, you know what I'm saying? It makes us feel a certain type of way when it rolls off our tongue.
We're rolling off your tongue, right?
And so I'm so careful with that. So I'm usually asking, like, when you say narcissistic, are you talking about a disorder? Or that person just have some jerkish ways about them? Because sometimes that's all it is. It's like, that's not a narcissist, that's a jerk. Yeah. Okay, that person is a jerk.
So what is a narcissist?
To that person, like, what are you saying? Are you talking about the actual disorder? Because then if you're saying that, then we're gonna ask, can anyone with a mental health disorder be a good parent? Yeah. I mean, what are we talking about here? So when that comes up, I'm just like, let's be very clear on what we're discussing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was referring to the Facebook chat.
So wait a minute. Define. I got to look it up. Define narcissism. And I would imagine, again, there's spectrums to that, right?
And by the way, like narcissistic personality disorder is most commonly found in men. And so if you ever notice when we talk about it online, it is just another way that people are using to attack Black men. Watch how we use these terminologies. Learn about them before we even start spewing them all over the place. And my thing is this, I realized that the personalities that these people are talking about are just undisciplined, jerk-like people. Yeah. And you want to label them narcissists. Narcissistic disorder is a real disorder.
Right,
and it's not so many people that have it. So I just want to put that out there.
Here's the definition, and then we're going to bring Brother Vaughn in the conversation. Narcissistic personality disorder, a personality disorder characterized by an exaggerated sense of self-importance, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for other people. That's a narcissistic, according to the definition. So, like you said, that could be a real a disorder, or it could be like somebody just being a jerk.
That sounds like the European.
Well, first, can we call me your technologically challenged tech girl? That's what I want to call me first. We got him in, y'all.
Brother Vaughn, the one and only. There will never be another. My brother.
I mean, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, bro.
Salam.
It's always good to be with the sisters. I wanted to show my support and first and foremost say thank you for all the things that you sisters do to help out our community with this subject matter. And it's definitely needed in the times that we're in. So thank you very much for all that you do.
Ashe, appreciate you.
You are welcome, brother.
So this is open format. I see, and I just wanted to share something with the sisters and the beloved sister. I heard some of her testimony, what have you. And yes, ma'am.
Wait, Kendra, do you have to leave?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'm glad, Brother Vaughn, you're about to, because I was going to say, Brother Vaughn, if you could just speak something into Kendra from the masculine, from the from the man's perspective.
Yes,
if
ma'am.
you could please do us that favor, but I'm glad that you came in ready to do that. So go ahead.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Well, assalamu alaikum, dear sister Kendra. It's a pleasure, dear sister, to actually speak with you. And I pray that anything that I say may help or, in any means from a man's perspective. And this subject is spot on because we just finished having this class dealing with the abuse of the females, particularly the Black woman. And if I understand, what I heard slightly was schizophrenic that your boyfriend, your husband deals with. Is that correct, sister?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Well, a lot of us in our society are sick in the head, period. So his illness is no different than someone who may claim to be sane if you're mistreating the female, period. And one of the things as men and as women as well, our physical strength and how we need to control that. And sometimes we don't know what our power is. Sometimes, and I'm saying this with all due respect, sometimes a woman's tongue can be much for a man, and especially when he's being torn down in society as it is, and then his own woman tears him down as well. Sometimes our lack of communication towards one another does us a disservice. And I'm not saying that that's the case with your significant others, dear sister, but if we all need help to a large degree of being reprogrammed on how we deal with one another, it is a sickness because we're being taught outside the righteousness of God, no matter what you call your God is, but you have to put God in this equation because we are made up in certain ways in order for us to function and maintain with one another. And if we're going outside the realm of what the Creator created us to be for one another, we're going to have this chaos. So your circumstances may not be no different than what's in my household and anybody else's household who is not stable here. They know how to control the emotions. And one thing that we're taught in the nation is that we're supposed to rise above our emotions to the thinking of a God. So when we're getting into a heated discussion, somebody has to have the cool head and the maturity to know that this conversation or something that's going to happen need to back down. It shouldn't be a competition. In reference to the male's perspective, when we are getting into that point, we're supposed to be mature enough that, okay, this conversation is not going the place it should be, because especially if you have children in the home or if you have a young son in the house, that son has to see daddy know how to control himself when things get out of hand, because he's supposed to be the maintainer, the provider, and the protector. He can't be a protector who's going upside mommy's head. So that causes hypocrisy. And also on a woman's part, if she sees the man de-escalating the problem, it doesn't mean that you have one up. He can't handle him. See, we get all this, he can't handle a strong woman. Because you do this doesn't make you strong. It makes two fools don't know how to control with each other. So if she sees the male by any chance backing down, saying, no, let's go to a different place, that's not the one up to say, I got him. No, it should be so that let's do this where we come back in a cool head, so we come together and converse in the proper form. There's nothing wrong with just separating yourself from a situation that may be hostile in any circumstance. It doesn't make one weak, it makes one wise. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about our relationships, and this is what we're talking about, it's good to have that foundation from the beginning where, prayer, conversation, find a common denominator, know each other's triggers, because all of us have a trigger in us that's that sparks in us and know those mechanisms. Then if we know we have a trigger, this will learn how to control those emotions. Because sometimes anger can become a god for us, where anger can allow you to go in bad places. Anger can allow you to have lost in faith. Anger can cause you to do things that you actually regret afterwards. It's always after you cool down that you regret. But the heat of the moment, you just going with it because you're angry. But when you cool down, then you sit this like, I shouldn't have done that. And depending what you did, it may be too late. So that's one to add to that, the sister, that your household is probably no different than anybody's household who's not mentally in a good place to know how to deal with one another, whether it be male or female. I hope that helped.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So what I'm
Yes,
hearing
that
you,
really,
I'm sorry, go ahead, Kendra.
that really did help. We can't help everybody if they don't want to be helped, but
Right,
we cannot help ourselves.
right. And if you can, one thing about us men, dear sister, is we're full of pride, especially when we're trying to find ways to define ourselves. And particularly Black men, we are constantly being scorned on what defines a man. Nobody asks us. Everybody's know the sign. Like if you ever talk to some women, they'll tell you what a real man is, but she's never been a man. It's like me telling you, well, a real woman would do this, but I've never been a woman a day in my life. I can relate by what I've seen, by the examples of my mother. I'm saying by the things, the outcome of it, whether it be positive or negative. But with men, the best way to understand a man is to ask a man, and this is where we can tell you, what we're thinking about without, we don't think with emotions. Well, most of us shouldn't be, but we don't think with emotions. We think with, logic and things that at the moment. But if you're in a situation, dear sister, where it's outside your scope of helping, and if you're in a place where you may feel that your life's endangered or it's not a healthy place for you, by all means, you can seek the help for the brother. I'm saying if he takes it, that means he's willing to grow. But that's something that he has to decide to do on his own. You cannot change anybody, especially if a man decides that this is what I'm going to be. That's not your responsibility to change him. You can love him, but once again, he has to hold accountability for everything that he does. The same thing with a woman. You have to have 100%. Nobody can change anybody to do any kind of help. So, I hope that's in a good place. But like I said, if he's willing to seek it, you want to guide and be by his side because he wants to help and he wants your love and support to help him over that threshold, by all means, go for it. But if he's flatlined with it and he's not taking his meds, whatever he's supposed to do, or you might want to question the meds, because sometimes the meds can make you worse than you know what you actually dealing with, because we're dealing with Satan's medicine cabinet, so you don't know what's that medication. You see what I'm saying? So that's something that you might want to look up too. Okay, what's causing him? Because medicine's supposed to help you, it ain't supposed to add on to anything. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different variables, without knowing too much about your background. So I hope that helped.
Yeah, that did help. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Well, look, my phone is battery low, so I'm gonna have to
Yes, ma'am.
go.
Yes, ma'am.
Kendra, it's fine. We'll be in touch, Kendra.
Okay, you all take care.
You too.
All right, I just connected everybody on, so you all have a message.
Thank you.
Okay,
You're
and,
welcome.
and thank you for the advice.
My pleasure, dear sister. May Allah
Welcome.
continue to bless you.
Bless you too.
Yes, ma'am. I hope that helps, sis.
Yeah, I hear you
That
say
helped.
like the wisdom of knowing when to clap, when you need to cool your head.
Yes, ma'am.
That's emotional wisdom.
Yeah,
To
emotional
know yourself enough to know that okay, I'm in a predicament where I'm about to go to 0 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I can either just ignore that and just go to 10, or I
Right.
can do what I need to do to keep myself stable.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's emotional intelligence.
And this is where we that phrase that I just shared with you, that we constantly taught in the nation to rise above our emotions to a thinking of a God. And I believe that if everybody, in particular any brothers who's listening, um, we know our strength, what we're capable of. And that's why it's so easy sometimes for us to get ourselves in a bad predicament, because we get so angry, we react. So this is why in some cases it's easy for another brother to kill another brother or put hands on, because he doesn't know how to define himself. He doesn't know what power is. So only thing he feels power could be is an abusive way, you know what I'm saying, is think last, react now. And sometimes, like I said, think on the moment. That shows you elevation of strength, because it takes more strength to refrain than to actually react and engage. Any fool, that's the separation between an animal and a man or a beast.
Say that.
You see, a dog, he'll bark in any chance, depending on what kind of dog it is, he'll just attack. Don't know why, just doing it just because. I'm saying, so what makes us different than a beast or animal if our first reaction is always to attack or destroy or mishandle just because we could, you know?
Hmm. You know what came to my mind when you talked about that, the being the beast like behavior. That's the one of the root, the chakras. That's
Right.
kind of that goes into that. But I watched this video of this brother. I don't even know who he is. I wish I can give him a shout out. First time ever seeing the video on Instagram a couple months ago, and he broke down how that behavior correlates to why a lot of our brothers get shot by killed by these cops, these European cops. And he gave the example of, you can be knocking at somebody's house and they got a pit bull next door that they train to protect.
Mm-hmm.
That pit bull will bark and growl and do everything they can to get over that fence to get to you. They don't, you know what I'm saying? That's not their territory.
Mm-hmm.
But the pit bull is an animal, and he's been trained to do. And he correlated that to why, where a lot of these European cops will just turn around and the first thing they do is pull out their gun and shoot and kill on instinct. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you know what I'm saying? When they see a black man, versus you don't see a lot of that going on with black police cops. You know what I'm saying? Black police cops ain't shooting and killing like that on instinct, and how that becomes animalistic, that behavior. It's
Right.
animalistic. I thought that was a very interesting
Well,
theory.
you gotta look at the nature. You got to look at the nature of something or someone. If that's your nature, to some degree, you're going to react to it. But we have learned the behavior of our former oppressors that we're repeating what we've been taught. You know what I'm saying? Like in Breaking the Buck, you know what I'm saying? And stuff of that nature. We've become our own worst enemies to some degree, where we're actually mirroring the very oppressors that tore us down. And that's a heavy conversation out in itself when you acknowledge yourself. And when we speak about love, when you love yourself, you're more prone to want to protect it and make sure that it's taken care of. And with that being said, I know growing up, we talk about community. Um, we had fathers outside, you know what I'm saying? Mom maintained the home. That was the balance. Daddy was always outside with his friends, and certain things you just couldn't do because Mr. So-and-so was that father figure. Right now, the gap between young and old men are so great. The first thing they tell you is, "You're not my father." See, we didn't talk like that to the elders. You say, but in the same token, we are responsible for bridging that gap because we're allowing certain entities to continue to wedge us apart. And if you want to bring Satan in the house, all you gotta do is turn the TV on, and then that'll let you know right there that they control and program. I think I seen something on your post, Sister Kamar, about the programming of television. The things that we're turning into beasts. Every time we turn the television on and we watch a reality show, or as you said before, turn on CNN, you're being trained to be a beast, pretty much. Not know how to control yourself, beat each other up, being loud, obnoxious, being half dressed, killing, you know what I'm saying, feminizing the man, where it's more, it's glorified for a man to put a dress on these days or wear makeup. He's untouchable. If you talk about any man that's wearing a dress, they will come to his aid before he come to somebody who just got shot, or somebody who just got abused, or a dog has more rights than the black man these days. You're saying, look at Michael Vick. They still hanging out over his head. He did his time and everything, and they still go after him for a dog. You know what I'm saying? But those who committed heinous crimes against us, you know what I'm saying, certain things just go untouched, unheard. So I believe the more that we indulge in this beast like his world, television, his sport and play, how we treat our women, how women treat themselves. Until we separate from this, we can continue to see a cycle ongoing every day. And that's why I made that point to that sister that her household, if they want to deem it, call it sick, every household is sick if we engaging with the everyday lives. So yes, ma'am.
Yes, and family, I'm seeing a lot of people at one time trying to come into the chat room, a lot of names, foreign names. So I don't know what the deal is. But anyway, if you want to come on and talk video, then you come in, you click that link. Other than that, you should just be watching the show. So from the Facebook page.
Right, you show your camera on when you come in.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely want your camera on if you're coming in to participate.
Oh, there was someone that was just coming in, Luis. Did he get booted out?
I don't know who that was. And I'm seeing a lot of foreign names.
Yeah,
I don't know what this is.
I saw the name Luis came up, and then the person got booted out.
So almost like spam.
Oh, okay.
Because they all came all at one time, and it's all.
I mean, if
a lot of them don't even have a picture, huh?
I'm saying if we don't see them in the comment section, then I wouldn't open up.
Yeah, I'm not messing with that. It looks like spam. So yeah. So good stuff, Brother Vaughn.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to help support the cause, and like I said, it's always good to support each other in this healthy dialogue. So I do what I can from just to share with the sisters and show that y'all definitely support it by all means.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Well, let's see. Anybody else had anything? Because if not, we getting off this thing. It's 9:51. Gee, Monetti.
Yes, and I have to roll out. Mommy duty calls.
This is the Empower Hour, for crying out loud.
Yeah, depending what time you started, right?
But it was good stuff. It was good
Yes,
stuff.
Really good stuff.
I went down like this too, Hanifa, because we started off on a whole different note. How I went down this long.
Yeah, but you know what? It was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It was necessary in every sense of the word. I'm glad that we did this. We should probably try to do this once a month.
Yeah.
And just allow people to come in and speak, because it helped us to connect with Kendra tonight. And I think
of the healing that we did tonight. Yeah, I agree.
Kendra needed that connection, because
no doubt,
isolated in those situations. So I'm glad that we did this. I really am.
And thank all of you guys who came on the stream and shared your point of views and shared the live with other people, things of that nature. We appreciate you guys. Vaughn, you got something coming up for the brothers, don't you?
Oh, yes, ma'am. We had our first segment yesterday where, thank you for that. Allow me to plug that in. We have something on Sundays at 8:00 where we allow brothers to come in and actually, speak their mind. Because one of the things that is healthy for men is to be heard, voice themselves. And I think that by us having those conversations, steel sharpens steel. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes men know how to relate to one another and build each other up. So the spirit behind the conversation is to have dialogue on it, depending on the topic matter, and have a brother allow him to speak his mind. Yesterday was a beautiful show. We had a brother who used to be in the game. He came out how he found God, and there's nothing wrong with it. And see, the thing is, today's thing, you mention God, people get all, no matter what your title, if you call it God, give homage to Creator. That's our nature. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a good Christian, be the best Christian you can be. Don't be judgmental. Be the best Muslim you can be. I'm saying be the best 5%er. If you're spiritual, then so understand your mathematics and what that's that vibration means. Be the best student you can, so you can understand all the branches once you understand the root. You see what I'm saying? If you understand the foundation, it doesn't matter who speaks to you, you can relate to it. So don't get cringed. There's nothing wrong with speaking of God. If you don't believe in God because of your circumstances, because the God is within you, is not doing what it's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? The God within you is real. I'm saying God is force and power. So if you want something to come to fruition, if you don't believe in the spook God, you make it happen. You see what I'm saying? Apply the proper mathematics and the proper science, then you can make anything happen for yourself. You can sit there and just blame everything. See, we got a blame society where we just point, but the hardest person to fix is the person in the mirror. I'm saying the jihad within self. I'm saying, so we can fix ourselves. You can make anything come to fruition. I'm saying in righteousness.